And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the day. Welcome to the StarCraft Evolution, not your typical bi-weekly event. Welcome to the Fall Championship 2024 Qualifier. I'm of course Show's Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. First things first, so I do want to apologize because we did miss out on the KSL today. Today we were supposed to have 3 broadcasts. We only have 2, as I'll be honest, it was like 2 hours until KSL, and I had a nap. I had a nap, and I set a bunch of alarms. I don't know what happened. The alarms did not wake me up, and by the time I woke up, it was already an hour and a half into the cast, or into the tournament, into KSL. So we missed out. We missed out on the KSL. We will be casting KSL in a couple of days on Monday via replay, so there will be a KSL replay cast, but we apologize for not covering it live at the time. But we are here live for the qualifier of SEL. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have the Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss. It is Ateshi. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, the brutal Protoss. It is LunaSea. And if you're in the chat, predictions now open. Place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. And a big shout out to LunaSea, because of course he did actually raid us in the towards the beginning of the broadcast. So much love to LunaSea. We do cover him whenever we can, and of course I felt necessary to showcase LunaSea, especially after the raid, and we'll see how he does compete in this event. For those that are curious, exclamation mark B in the chat, exclamation mark B. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is full of amazing players, and top four will qualify into the main event. For those that are unaware, StarCraft Evolution, there is going to be a full championship. There's going to be a GSL group stage with 4 groups, a playoff bracket, of course, as well. A lot of money on the line. It's going to be over 1,000 USD as the prize pool, and this is the first and only qualifier for the event. Now, that doesn't mean these are going to be the only players. There's going to be qualifiers, of course, but also going to be seeded players invited via SEL, via all the online bi-weeklies, and how well they did perform in those tournaments. So I would imagine players like Shin, players like 3Point and Honmono, some of the big regulars that have deeper and deeper and have good performances in those online weekly tournaments or online bi-weekly tournaments, I imagine they're going to be invited from those seedings, and there's going to be other invites as well. So of course there is a kind of multi-layering here to how players can actually make it into the event. Likewise, like this qualifier as well, as we have a wild build. So lots going on. Ateshi is going for a 1-base all-in, is going for a proxy robo, but the robo is so far out of the way. I'm not too sure how quickly this can really come into play here. LunaSea likewise, proxy as well. 1-base Dragoon here from LunaSea, 1-base Immortal all-in from Ateshi. Oh boy. Here we go, the chaos has begun. Robo's almost done, and now I'm assuming this is for proxy Immortal, but yeah, there we go. Immortal is now on the way for Ateshi. Meanwhile, LunaSea is throwing down a 2-gateway, so it's going to be 4-gate Mass Dragoon. It's going to be a 4-gate 1-base all-in from LunaSea. Likewise, going to be 2 gates eventually into, I imagine, a 3rd gateway from the pink Protoss player. But again, it will take a little bit longer for this Immortal to come into play. It's very far out of the way. It takes a long time here to actually reinforce, to actually, come into play when it comes to the all-in itself. And there we go. Looks like a 3rd gateway now going to be placed down. The Immortal has arrived. And how does 1-base play compared to each other? The Stalker versus the Dragoon. Dragoon range is not quite done yet. They do start step 4. They do bring down 1 Stalker. They trade for 1 for 1 so far. Slightly better trade here for LunaSea. He will get away here, but he will lose another Dragoon. 2 for 2. Does back off, does respect the Immortal. Has to pull back, but is banking on more Dragoons. Now, the scary thing for LunaSea is that half his production is across the map. And unlike SC2 Protoss, he cannot warp in and he cannot recall. So the units made from this proxy cannot really, they can't help in the defense. They cannot help back at home. They have to commit to an attack across the map, and they can depower some gateways or force a recall. Meanwhile, shield battery is on the high ground. Dragoon's getting in position. The first gateway is under fire. The Prism, no! Oh my god, Prism goes down. Massive pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, big investment there from Ateshi. Meanwhile, across the map, more Dragoons are amassing, and LunaSea is getting ready to push into that main and ideally force a recall. If not, I mean, he could just end the game by depowering the gateways and by going him in the mineral line. He has yet to pull the trigger. Ooh, Ateshi gonna be expanding. This I'm not so sure about. And there we go. The proxy has been found. Ateshi turns everything back around. Now, at least the Nexus is gonna buy some time. It does soak some damage. There's a cancel on the Nexus. Dragoons, they do waddle in to catch a probe. Ateshi racing back. Likewise, LunaSea looking for the proxy. And the pylon is gonna fall. Yeah, massive depowering of these gateways. 2 gateways depowered. Army racing back. LunaSea does not yet. Barely. He does find the all-in. Does find the proxy, I should say. The robo. And these Dragoons are going to be cleaned up, but what do they get in the process? They get 1 sentry, 4 probes, not too bad. And they drag everything back home. And meanwhile, everything's going to be depowered. No more gateways. No more robo. And Ateshi, does he try to transition? Does he try to macro back at home? Is that the plan? Oh, nice force fields. Very nicely done. Catches two more Dragoons. LunaSea, second guessing himself a little bit here. Does he commit? Does he expand? Do we somehow turn this into a longer macro game? Do we both take a natural? Ateshi's has been thrown down. Ateshi hasn't scouted. He doesn't know. No shot. He hasn't seen the proxy. LunaSea, he's crazy. He's coming in. The proxy has not been found. More Dragoons on the way. This should not be happening. And there we go. Now he gets found out. Oh, a little bit premature for LunaSea. He's going to lose 3 Dragoons already. The rest of the army is a little bit mistimed. He's trying to come in for this round. Force fields will zone away most of the army. Dragoons are cleaned up. A better start for Ateshi. Oh my god. You can see LunaSea trying to stutter step forward. He does focus down 1. He does focus down both Immortals. Now it's only Stalker Sentry left. And Ateshi's holding. Ateshi's barely holding on. I mean, that's a lot of sentries. That's a lot of sentries, Pappy. But he is holding on. Gateways are depowered. And eventually should be able to survive here. As I say that, though, the Artosis Pylon does survive. Warping completes. And Dragoons are forced back. Ateshi's still holding on. More reinforcements on the way. But remember, both players are expanding. And we are headed into, or we're settling down, headed into a longer game. Backup robot has been built. Prism has arrived. So you're trying to pick up any stray units. Double expanding even. Let's go. Rushing into a third. Bold move. Bold move out of LunaSea. Also, I apologize for switching the player names. Yeah, proxies are being cleaned up from both sides. And we're calming things down. 2 more gates on the way, so it's going to be a 4-gate setup here back at home for LunaSea. Getting into a forge, getting into, of course, his upgrades. Getting into his Master Dragoon production. I imagine eventually he'll be working towards his own robo, towards his own shuttle production. That'll be the ideal here for LunaSea. Meanwhile, Ateshi moving out with 1 Immortal and a mass amount of sentries. Again, force fields are that much more effective in this PvP matchup because there's no blink. Because there's no blink you have to worry about, I should say. So depending on the control of these sentries of the force fields, he can just lock down and slice up the army. Deal with it a portion at a time. So there's a lot of power here in these sentries. A lot of power. So Ateshi does reinforce. He has yet to scout the third. He doesn't know how greedy LunaSea is being. Doesn't know yet. So Ateshi does waddle up the ramp. LunaSea not in position. No shield battery either. Yeah, it's getting locked down. It's already going to be 1 Dragoon falling. Already a good pickoff here for Ateshi. And again, he has plenty of force fields. Locks down another Dragoon. Just 1 at a time. I say 1 at a time. This time catching 3. Ooh, 3 more Dragoons go down. And LunaSea just can't really engage too well here. On the flip side, though, running out of sentries. Running out of force fields. Catching another 3 Dragoons. Aye. Another 3 going to be going down. Meanwhile, we are out of sentries, out of force fields, but now there's only 5 Dragoons left. And Ateshi is breaking through. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. Warp-in is not denied. Prism goes down. And it looks like so will the Immortal. Ateshi overextending. He did trade very nicely until that final moment. He overextended. He lost the Robo. He lost the War Prism. He lost the Immortal as well. A little bit unnecessary there for Ateshi. So he bleeds out a lot. And what's more important than that, the third base. The third base survived. The third base did not fall. Neither did the mineral line. So LunaSea can now take an economic lead. That push had to at least break the third. But again, Ateshi got a little bit too greedy. Does catch another Dragoon. War Prism's being remade. Ateshi getting into another War Prism. Still no Twilight Council, still no Blink of his own. Just focusing on purely Stalker, Sentry, Immortal. Likewise, LunaSea turning back around. Turning back, saturating his bases. There's his own Robo finally on the way. As I mentioned before, in PvP, this should be working towards shuttle production and potentially even shuttle drops. It's, I would say, risky going for shuttle drops just because you don't know if your opponent is going to be working towards Blink. And it'll be far easier here to defend, of course. As the SE2 Protoss. But now trying to catch up, getting his own third. And we can calm down. we can calm down a little bit here. As we do see Ateshi just no chill, building up another, what, 6 sentries before moving out once again. He's soon to be 8 sentries. Oh my god, so many sentries. So he's got mass sentries, he's got 2 immortals. His gateway army is lacking, is what I will say, but I mean, he makes up for that in more force fields. Jesus, look how many Dragoons he's pushing into. That's going to be 18 Dragoons. Even with force fields, the surround potential is insane. And over time, Ateshi's army quality is just not keeping up. Do you see LunaSea kiting back to his shield batteries? Ooh, nice force fields though. Yeah, shield batteries are out of range. Dragoons, they're locked in with the slow lots. Yeah, brutal losses. So many Dragoons go down. The boys, they're trying to help, but they can't engage. And it looks like Ateshi has done it. He has broken the main army. The force fields were the MVPs. I didn't have too much faith. I did not have too much faith in the force fields, but that was insane. And again, these shield batteries could not help. They were out of range of the Dragoons. Despite the Master Dragoon, it looks like Ateshi has done it. He breaks through the front line, takes down the final Dragoons. GG gets called, and Ateshi takes game number 1. GG. The power of mass sentry. Again, it is a very different PvP dynamic when you involve SE2 and Brood War, of course. Again, without Blink, sentries and force fields are that much more crucial, that much more important. Again, there's no, I was going to say there's no counterplay. Technically, you can try to get your own shuttle a little bit faster and maybe have some, Warp Prism Micro. Maybe have, I say Warp Prism, some shuttle micro to try to micro back or something like that. I feel like that might be the only way to really avoid that kind of situation or that kind of circumstance, outside of maybe diversifying your composition and involving your own zealots as well to protect your Dragoons. But yeah, very, very different dynamic. Very different indeed. Meanwhile, my game has crashed, so I will need a moment. Un momento. I was having some server issues earlier, but I will get on that. And we can continue our series. I mean, so far, a strong start from Ateshi, strong start from our otherwise unknown Protoss player. I'm not too familiar with him, but it looks like he has clearly been putting in a lot of work in this mod and has been refining his style. It was a very chaotic start, of course, proxy versus proxy, very chaotic. And we'll see how the story ends. Do we go to the ace match, or does Ateshi take it all 2-0? Does he take it all? As we are getting into game number 2. When it comes to the qualifier, bear this in mind as well. There are no vetoes. Game 1 is going to be on Alkione, Game 2 on Citadel, and Game 3 will be on Monty Hall. So the maps are predetermined. Here we go. This is a map that I don't think I've casted on, actually. Citadel. I think this is going to be me casting this map for the first time, so I'm ready. I'm ready to be introduced to a brand new map. Let's go. Let us go. Maybe DA for feedback. I don't know if you can tech up to something like Dark Archon that quickly, but maybe. Actually, hold on. Something more important than feedbacks, we would have to do something. I haven't seen the interaction myself. Regular Archons do break force fields, right? Does a Dark Archon break force fields as well? Because regardless, getting into an Archon just for that, right, just to break force fields might be the play as well, considering how powerful they can be against Dragoon, right? So interesting. Would be an interesting dynamic. Dark Archons do have the massive delta. There you go. There you go. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2. And oh my god. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Citadel, we have the pink Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss. From South Korea, it is Ateshi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the teal Protoss player from South Korea, representing the SC2 Protoss. It is LunaSea. I will try to change the in-game name. Un momento. But yes, this is my first time in casting on Citadel, and as you can see, it is raining. To have the lovely rain and thunder sound effects. So far so good. Actually, my apologies, I think we have casted on a variation of this. This looks very similar to Troy, actually, now that I do think about it. But 4-player map. You can spawn top right, bottom left, bottom right, top left as well. So first things first, we are scouting for our opponents. We do see LunaSea scouting and checking bottom left first, trying to find the spawn location of Ateshi. So this is kind of, this is something that we do not see too often. Oh, that's a bridge. Oh, for a moment I thought it was a wall. But this is something that we don't see in SC2 anymore. But yes, this is a 4-player spawn map. So LunaSea is on the hunt. You can see LunaSea even sends out a second probe as well, scouting towards top right, trying to find his opponent. Meanwhile, we do see a more greedy opener here out of our pink Protoss player, Gate Expand. Very greedy. If LunaSea was going for one base all in, and with this 2-gate setup, it could be for a proxy, by the way, then our pink Protoss player is going to be in a bit of trouble. And here comes the scout. Now LunaSea knows. He does confirm he's now aware of the greedy build of the faster Nexus, and the question becomes, what does LunaSea do about this? Does he attempt to proxy, or does he expand and play from behind? Does he opt to play from behind? For now, skirting around. Scouting the main. Probe taking a lot of hits. Azal likewise chasing the probe down. Ooh, the probe does fall. And LunaSea does not have a proxy out of the map. It looks like LunaSea will expand. Okay. It looks like we are headed in towards the mid-game. Now, getting into this kind of game state, of course, our pink Protoss player already has a Nexus, can now start saturating, can now start investing into that natural base. Likewise, Robo follow-up as well, so very low gateway count here for Ateshi rushing into a Robo, and I feel like this can mean one and one thing only, Reavers. I'm feeling Reaver play here with a fast Robo. And again, the pressure is on LunaSea to try to punish this. Because again, we're skipping gateways. We're skipping out on gateway units and an army in favor of rushing tank. You can see here 2 shield batteries on the way. Basically, Ateshi's trying to turtle up. But the shield batteries aren't done. How about 2v2? And with the help of the shield batteries, Ateshi will defend. He defends, he deflects the initial Stalker aggression. Meanwhile, LunaSea going for his own Robo. Okay, now this should just be for Immortal production, I would imagine. Meanwhile, there's the Reaver. Yep, Reaver's on the way for Ateshi. Rushing into Reavers and into Dragoon range. Meanwhile, LunaSea going to be responding with, initially, it looks like Immortal production. Getting his own shield battery up and running. Bay is on the way. Now, the Bay should be for War Prison speed. I say War Prison. Shuttle speed, the other one. Shuttle speed for Reaver drops. Meanwhile, LunaSea coming with Hallucination Scout. He has yet to scout the main. LunaSea is playing blind. He's playing in the dark, trying to figure out what exactly his opponent's up to. Stuttering also part of the mod experience. It's just the Korean server, unfortunately. If you notice, Game 1 was quite smooth, but here in Game 2, sometimes the routing to the Korean server is just really unreliable. So I do apologize for that. I do apologize. It is very subtle, but it's there. Here we go. Ateshi does move out. It's going to be 5 Dragoons initially. Likewise, LunaSea trying to set up here, trying to move out himself with his own Immortal drop. Uh-oh. Oh my god. The Prism is spotted. Is spotted for a moment. Ateshi, he thinks about it, thinks about turning back around, and he will. Okay, he does turn back around. He does respect the War Prism. Turning back around with the shuttle as well. I mean, I say is subtle, but yeah, you can see it there. Feel stuttering, man. Mortal Stalker dropping into the mineral line. And so far, not really finding any damage. Force back. Force back for now. Ateshi is keeping up. Again, he wants to go for that shuttle drop. Well, LunaSea is keeping him busy. Setting up his own proxy. I should say, Ateshi's trying to expand. Is going to be denied. Did invest in some Phoenixes. Phoenixes, they will shut down the shuttle. Oh, the shuttle, it cannot escape. Not like this. He's going to try to. Yeah, shuttle goes down. Reaver as well. Gets one Stalker. But just the one. Nice clean up here from LunaSea. The Reaver doesn't really pay for itself whatsoever. More Phoenix production on the way. Getting into not Blink, but Charge. Charges in production. Oh. Ooh. As we do commit into the natural, but it looks like LunaSea is going to be punished. Yeah, this would be quite worth it here. He does target down 2 workers, but only 2. And LunaSea, he does also lose his own Immortal as well. May have gotten a Reaver, but at the cost of an Immortal, a War Prism. So a bit of a give and take. Not too worth it from LunaSea. Behind this, just building up his army. Charged up Phoenix Immortal. Still getting map control with those Phoenixes. And from the other side, we do have what looks to be Charged Lord Archon. Zealots are amassing. We do have a couple of Reavers here to reinforce, but Archon production's on the horizon as well. Very different army composition compared to Game 1. Phoenixes, they get into the mineral line. And we spoke about this earlier, but the Brutal Protoss army is so much more immobile. Without Blink, dipping between the bases, rotating between the natural, the main, and the third is just that much more difficult here for the Brutal Protoss player. And Phoenixes are a good way to abuse that. I should emphasize, without Blink and without Recall. So it's going to be 4 probe kills. LunaSea rotating around. Likewise, we've built up towards 2 shuttles. Up. Catching a Dragoon. Not bad. One Dragoon goes down. Main army's going to be pushing. Yeah, Ateshi's had enough waiting back at home. He's taking a third base at the same time while he does move out across the map. And what do we have at home to defend? We have 3 mortals. 3 mortals, the main army is spotted. Phoenixes, they do respond. They race back. And Ateshi's pushing in. And can he break through? A lot of this will come down to those shuttle shots. I should say to the Reaver shots. Zealots, they do dive in. Reaver shots going off here on the Zealots, but it looks like LunaSea, he will overwhelm. He shuts out every single Dragoon. The Dragoons get surrounded. Phoenixes, they dive on the shuttle. And the LunaSea, he will clean this up. I say that, what the Zealots here of Ateshi, they come in. The Zealots, they're cracked. Oh my god. They clean up whatever's left. They get into the mineral line, and Ateshi does he have enough? Up. Oh, not quite. The final shuttle goes down. Phoenixes eventually will clean this up. That is going to be so many probe kills. That's going to be 13 probe kills. Also, it doesn't help, I don't know if you noticed, but seeing like teal and pink Zealots clash into each other is just like a blob of gray. that was very hard to read. Seeing Zealots of this kind of like this color palette clash, especially over this. Oh my god, over all the gray. But yeah, eventually the pink Zealots, they did come out on top. They were able to break through. Storm is not resource, so this should be for Archon production. Phoenix is moving out. It's like the teal blends into the grass, and then you've got the pink that blends into the rocks. It's fine. It all just turns into gray. But both armies, they bounce off each other. We're building up. LunaSea still maintains a 20-worker lead despite losing so many probes. Still does maintain, bearing in mind he had a much faster third. And the army compositions are looking quite similar to each other. Dragoon, Charge Lot, Archon from one, and Immortal, Charge Lot, Archon from the other. No disruptors, not yet. And the Reaver count was reset, so no additional Reavers in play either. And looks like we're moving out for another clash. So I'll say speed on in. Oh. We do bleed off some of those Zealots though. Now upon seeing the army, Ateshi backs off. Splits up a couple of DTs into the mineral line. 6 probe kills, not bad. Observers on the way. 6 workers. And I might just enter a bit of a longer game here. Both armies backing up, building up, getting into 3-base saturation. I was still waiting for disruptor production from LunaSea. He does have the Bay, but yeah, no disruptors yet, or Colossus either. Just sticking with Charge Archon. Does move out. I'm a little bit concerned by the low Archon count. It's only 2 Archons for Ateshi. Zealots, they peel off towards a third. They get into the mineral line. At the same time, the main army does push towards the natural, going for the Dragoons. The Dragoons are exposed. Archons, they turn around to defend. The Archons will clean up the Zealots at least. But LunaSea breaks into the mineral line. Dragoons are going down. Probes as well. And this natural base is going to be broken. It's going to be compromised. The army, though, coming in from behind, but into Archons. And LunaSea should have enough. Does that position, does pull Ateshi apart. And LunaSea has done it. Cleans up the main army. GG gets called, and LunaSea ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. I will quickly deal with what's going on, as latency has been quite high. Hopefully that does fix things. Fingers crossed. Or this could just make things horribly worse. Oh no. Google 4. Actually. Okay. We are getting ready here for that ace match. And as a reminder, game 3 is going to be on Monty Hall. Should be on Monty Hall as our players are just setting things up and getting things ready. When it comes to the last player pick, I believe the loser of game, basically the loser of game 2 gets to pick whether or not they play Brood War or SE2. So it's on Ateshi. It's going to be on Ateshi. That's kind of how the that's kind of like, in a way, kind of like an ace match advantage in a way. So what does he go for? Does he commit to Brood War Protoss or SE2? We will find out. We'll find out. Just catching up in the chat. For those who are maybe unaware, of course, this is not your regular SE2. This is StarCraft Evolution. It is kind of a melding of StarCraft 2 and Brood War. It is not the exact replicate of it. I should emphasize that as well. There are changes done to the Brood War units to help balance and help adapt it to the kind of StarCraft 2 engine and the StarCraft 2 setting as well. I believe there is a Wikipedia page detailing all of that as well, all of the changes, all of the differences between Brood War and StarCraft Evolution. So they are not carbon copies. Numbers have been adjusted and some effects have been changed. Bear that in mind. As we are jumping into that ace match, and we have confirmation. Okay, so it looks like Ateshi has chosen to switch to StarCraft 2. So Ateshi is going to be the StarCraft 2 player, and LunaSea will be the Brood War player. Oh boy. Here we go. Again, overall, I did appreciate that Ateshi did approach Game 2 very differently when it came to his army composition, going for a more charged out Archon heavy composition instead of Mass Dragoon. And we can definitely see a potential with that kind of army as well. But now we're getting into the ace match, and welcome everyone to one of the more chaotic maps out there. Welcome to Monty Hall. This is a pseudo island map. We'll get into it as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. In the hold on, I have to get rid of this. There we go. In the bottom hand corner of Monty Hall, we have the South Korean Brood War Protoss, the teal Protoss. It is LunaSea. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean StarCraft 2 Protoss player, the pink Protoss. It is Ateshi. Here we go. Now, what do I mean by pseudo-island map? Well, as you can see, we have mineral walls. You have one base to yourself, and we have minerals walling you off completely from your second, third, and fourth expansion. So you have to mine through. Bear in mind as well that the gold mineral patch here, you can mine through quite quickly. So there is a gold mineral patch you can very quickly mine through, so you can scatter across the map and actually expand, but only small units can actually fit through that location. A probe can, but most units cannot. Meanwhile, these mineral patches are 30, so it does take quite a lot of trips here to actually mine through these patches. And LunaSea is going on a bit of a trip. So he mines through the gold minerals, and then he does move out across the map. And again, mining through this patch here isn't quite necessary to expand. And yep, there we go. Ateshi does move out. Scouting as well. And it looks like LunaSea is setting up for a proxy. The pylon is going to be placed and is set up. Now, the other thing to bear in mind as well, something that I should emphasize, is that each one of these bases leads into a lane. Like, as you can see here, there are walls. So the terrain does completely wall off each lane, each kind of attack path. So because our pink Protoss player mined through the center, he won't be able to scout the northern side without mining through these patches here, which he has done so. He has expanded. So Ateshi going for a more economic opener, LunaSea rushing into a robo. So proxy robo, one base all in. It's going to be one base all in from LunaSea. Probe Scout does come in. And the probe does confirm that the gases, only one pylon. Does get eyes on the expansion though. And the second pylon as well. Things are looking relatively standard. I am a little bit thrown off. Like, this is a big commitment here for LunaSea. So for LunaSea to expand, we'll see what he does go into here. I'm curious. The probe shouldn't really venture this far out, so this area should be unscouted. Does LunaSea cancel? Does he proxy? Ooh, oh my god. Okay, we're going proxy Reaver drop, but we're expanding behind it. So LunaSea is going to be expanding. He's going to be saturating his bases. You can see here, LunaSea is so vulnerable. Nothing at home. There is nothing at home to defend. Just now going into Dragoon range, into his first Dragoon as well. Likewise, we do see Ateshi just chilling back at home. He's got the one safety Stalker in position. Shuttle is out. Reaver's on the way. And there's shuttle speed as well. Big commitment here to the Reaver drop. And does LunaSea get away with it? Adept shades out. The Adept, can wreak havoc in the mineral line. And this natural base is very exposed. Adept is moving in, and LunaSea is going to have to pull away. Like, he can't really do much here. Does have that one Dragoon. Ooh, so far, 2 probes going down. The boys have to be pulled. 3 probe kills already. That's a good amount of damage dealt here by Ateshi. He scouts! Oh, he does scout. Does confirm. Yeah, Ateshi now aware of what's happening. Pulling back. Shield batteries on the way. Second Stalker. Sentry as well. Ateshi's getting in position. This was a big investment here by LunaSea. It has to pay for itself. Oh, goes for the Stalker, not the mineral line. Does 2-shot a Stalker. 1 Stalker goes down. Gets a Sentry. Nice pick off. And he will get the final Stalker up. Oh my god, doesn't. Barely does not. Warping does complete. And LunaSea, he has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. Oh god, he has to pull away. No! Oh, he's gonna lose everything. The Reaver goes down. The shuttle as well. Massive pick off. Ay, ay, ay. And LunaSea's, oh god, he is committing to an all-in. Proxying across the map. Another Reaver going down. Oh my god. And this is feeling disastrous here. As Ateshi's almost came to the production. Takes out another Dragoon. Trading 1 for 1. 3 more Stalkers have arrived. And I don't see a world where LunaSea can reinforce. Yeah, not like this. We'll lose control of the base, of the proxy. And there's no reason to turn around. Oh, the gateways, they're cancelled. I mean, what else can LunaSea do? Cancels the gateways. He's got nothing at home. He can make 1 Dragoon at a time. The boys are being pulled. And GG gets called. There's just nothing left here for LunaSea. Ateshi will take the series at 2-1. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations to Ateshi. My condolences to LunaSea. It was a very intense series, but I mean, that's the risk you take, right? Like, he went for a proxy robo into a proxy Reaver drop. Very cheeky, very risky, very committed. It got scattered. It got scattered. As a result, we saw that Ateshi was able to respond with a second warp in of a Stalker, so he was able to get in position as well to pull back to the mineral line. Because of that, he didn't lose a single probe. He didn't lose any workers to the Reaver drop. He lost, remember, it was 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry. That's all he lost to the Reaver, and that was not good enough. with that, GG. GG, well played. Ateshi will take the series and will advance on into the next round. And the question becomes, who will face off against him? Who is going to be in that next series? We're going to try and find out. Here we go. Let's have a look at the brackets. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves.